Chapter 5. It was easy to convince Mom to foster Cooper. Charles could tell she was already half in love with the pup just from watching him upstage. After they talked to Mrs. Davis about it, they called home. Dad was fine with the idea too. A corgi? He asked when Charles told the idea about Cooper. Aren't those long, low, footstool type dogs? Dad? Charles said, there's no footstool. In the background, he could hear Lizzie excited questions. A corgi? We're fostering a corgi? Is it a Pembroke or a cardigan? A girl or a boy? Does it have a tail? When do we get it? Charles heard Dad laugh. Easy, Miss Lizzie, Dad said. He then spoke into the phone again. Sure, bring the little guy home. Is he okay around kids? 'Cause I'm about to pick the bean up from daycare. He's fine, Charles reported. The Petersons always made sure every foster puppy they took in would be safe around a cheeky toddler like the Bean. Miss Davis had already told Charles and Mom that Cooper loved little kids. Other dogs too, she said. The rescue group gave him a complete evaluation and he came out with flying colors. He gets along with everyone. Now on the phone, Dad chuckled. Guess I'll pick up some extra puppy food while I'm out, too. Looks like we got a guest coming to stay. Charles could hear Lizzie's whooping even when he held the phone away from his ear. But he felt like whooping, too! But rehearsal was still going on. So he just grinned at Mom and handed her back the phone. The rest of the rehearsal went by in a flash. Charles brought Cooper onto stage with him whenever he was in a scene, and the same magic seemed to work each time. Charles got his lines right and remembered the words to all the songs. He even got a well done from Mr. Green for helping Mrs. Swinload. Well, the lady who played his mother with a line she had forgotten. Cooper, meanwhile, kept getting laughs and applause from all the funny things he did, like rolling over onto his back and waving his short little tail and legs in the air, or jumping up to lick Charles' chin right when Charles is in the middle of a serious speech. I hate to see him go, said Mrs. Davis, but when rehearsal was over. But I know it's the right thing. She checked her watch. And I have to drive home, grab something to eat, and drive to Dustin for another rehearsal. Oh, and I have another time to practice one of my songs as I drive, since I didn't have any time earlier today. I would like them a moment to spare with Cooper. She bent down to kiss his nose. I know you're in good hands, she told him. You'll be a good boy. Cooper was a good boy. He rode politely in Mom's band, and when they got home, climbed out the door and walked out happily and confidently up to the door. As long as I'm with nice people, I'm sure everything will be fine. Lizzie flung over the door. Cooper! She cried. Oh, he's a Pembroke Welsh! And a total cutie. She ran out and kneeled down to say hi, and Buddy bolted down the door behind her. Hey, Mom said. I thought we had a rule about how Buddy meets our foster pups. Are we supposed to give him some space out in the backyard? Oops, said Lizzie. I guess I was too excited to remember about that. Sorry, but look, they're already getting along great. Buddy sniffed Cooper. Cooper sniffed Buddy. Their tails wagged. I'm so glad he has his tail, said Lizzie. Some Pembrokes aren't born with about them. If a puppy has a tail, most breeders usually dock it. I don't think that's very nice. What does dock mean? Charles asked. It means they cut it off, said Lizzie. They do that when the puppy is still really tiny and supposedly doesn't hurt much, but still. Why didn't they do it? Charles asked. He liked Cooper's little tail. He would never have to cut it off. Lizzie shrugged. It's just the way those dogs are supposed to look. Cooper was interested in the conversation. His tail wagged some more. He put out his paws towards Buddy in a play bow. Friends? Friends? From that moment on, no one could separate the two puppies. Out in the backyard, Buddy lapped over with Cooper. Cooper rolled over onto his back with his bat ear straight out and paddled his feet at Buddy. They chased after balls and drank out of the bird bath. And finally, they collapsed in a furry heap together, exhausted from all the fun. When Dad and the Bean got home, Cooper ran out to greet the new people. The Bean stood still and held out his hand as he had just learned to do with dogs he didn't know. Cooper sniffed gently, then wagged his tail and gave the Bean's hand a soft lick. The Bean laughed his googly laugh, and Dad laughed along as he bent down to pet the new puppy. It was official. All the Petersons were in love with Cooper. That night, Charles practiced his line from the play over and over. He wanted to show Mr. Green that he really had memorized the script, and Cooper was a big help. Charles pretended that the puppy was the other actor in each scene, and that he looked into Cooper's beautiful, soft brown eyes as he said his lines. Cooper couldn't answer, but that didn't matter. Charles recited his lines to Cooper as the puppy followed him around the table while he sat at the table. And he said them again as he helped dry dishes with Cooper sitting at his feet. He performed them in the living room in front of his family, who wanted Cooper on his lap. He said his lines as he got ready for bed, with Cooper watching as he brushed his teeth. He muttered them as Dad tucked them in. And with Cooper lying at the foot of his bed, he even dreamed of some of his lines as Cooper snored softly. When it was time to leave for rehearsal the next day, Charles felt ready. Really, really ready. He was going to show Mr. Green and everybody else that he could say his lines. Sing the songs! Without bumbling or messing up once. After all, he needed was some puppy magic. With Cooper by his side, Charles felt completely confident. Let's go, Cooper, he said, snapping a leash onto the puppy's collar. Said his mom. Cooper is staying home.